apart in their self-glory plunged, remote, burning, they swam in a vague, lucent haze. Those dreams, those splendors, an everlasting refuge of dream light, an everlasting refuge of dream light. So, this lucent haze is the refuge of dream light. And in that place, they stay permanently, those splendors. A nebula of the splendors of the gods, haze that goes with the nebula. At the same time, but it is splendors. Of the splendors of the gods, made from the musings of eternity. It is a thought, it is a meditation, it is the idea of eternity which has made that lucent haze. That lucent haze is made by them, you see, by it. Musings of eternity. Well, I don't know whether we can apply this line as a part of understanding of the physics of nebula. How was the nebula created? Was created. Nebulae were created. Nebula is a great cluster of stars which looks very hazy and faint. Were they also musings of eternity? That somebody thought of them and they came into the material existence. I will say that is a very great likelihood of it. Somebody thought of those multiple creations, multiple lights, multiple splendors in the sky, and they assumed material form, material objects in the sky. So, a nebula, the splendors of the gods made from the musings of eternity. How that has happened? Eternity is musing and there is a formation of material nebula. The process is not described, but the essence is definitely there. That somebody has thought of it and then the creation has occurred. Now, you may try to explain, understand, elaborate scientifically in a different manner, but the truth behind them is that somebody has given a thought to it, somebody has thought of it, somebody has conceived of it, and it has appeared. Now, that appeared may look to us a miracle, but there is also an occult chemistry, occult process by which things can materialize. What is only an ideal can become material. There is a process and that can operate. We may not be aware of the process, but it does not mean that it cannot be there. It does not mean that it cannot be there. So I say this is a very interesting line. In fact, the entire creation is a kind of a thought of somebody, and then the thought is getting worked out. In other words, if it is a musing of eternity, a nebula is a musing of eternity, it has its own purpose. It has its own fulfillment to achieve. It has its own line of progress to grow. See, I mean, he is musing for some reason, for some purpose, and it has appeared, therefore that purpose will be served, will be carried forward, you see, in the course of time, you see. Now, what is that? Of that we don't have any idea. We can't speak of that, you see. In fact, in Life Divine, Shivandu at one stage says that our present concern is the evolutionary process of the earth. What will be its impact in the rest of the universe, that at the moment we are not going to talk about. That he is holding it back, you see. It means that there is a definite purpose behind this entire creation. And each object, each fulfillment, each creation, each musing of eternity has something to contribute in the totality of manifestation which will happen. You see. A nebula or the splendors of the gods made from the musings of eternity, almost unbelievable by human faith. You see, even our faith is a very feeble faith. We don't understand anything, we believe certain things, but that faith also is not a very kind of a wide faith, strong faith, dashing faith, all-comprehensive faith. It lacks that sort of thing, because we have not really built up ourselves to that thing. To have real faith, you have to do great yoga, you have to do great sadhana to build a faith that this will happen. Otherwise, yes, God will take care of me in every respect. That kind of a faith has no value at all in the scheme of things. Almost unbelievable by human faith. Hardly they seem the stuff of things that are which are there. They are hardly there. You see, these objects, they don't have what they are really there. You see, as through a magic television's glass, outlined to some magnifying inner eye, magnifying some inner eye. They shone like images thrown from a far scene, too high and glad for mortal lids to see. Mortal eyes, mortal sight cannot understand them, cannot see them, cannot catch them also, cannot have any grasp of them, you see. Outlined to some magnifying inner eye. So, television is bringing a distant scene in front of you, but it is the inner eye which has to really see what that conveys, what that it is bringing. It is not just a physical object, but there is something else which is going on behind that thing. They shone like images thrown from a far scene, too high and glad for mortal lids to see, too high and glad for mortal lids to see, too high, sponte, and glad, Pirik, for mouth, I am. And there is an L alliteration there, glad mortal lids, L, you see. The flow is kind of a liquid, the sound is too high and glad for mortal lids to see. Now the sponte has a very powerful effect. It brings a kind of a contrast between what is there and what you are seeing. It's too high. It is emphatically asserting it is too high. Sponte, you see. But near and real to the longing heart and to the body's passionate thought and sense are the hidden kingdoms of beatitude, but near and real to the longing heart and to the body's passionate thought and sense. So body has thought, body has sense. When the body has that passionate thought and sense, then it can see something, can understand that something, grasp something. Are the hidden kingdoms of beatitude. Now, we have not really developed that faculty of body having passionate thought and sense. Our body is really very dull, very unresponsive. It is so tamasic, so inert, so stupid, so much in darkness. It does not see, understand, feel anything at all, the physical, you see. But all those things are present in the body. See, I mean, a yogi in his physical body, he at once realizes something is happening there in the world. In the physical world also, you see, his body has that kind of a consciousness straight away to receive indications, hints, suggestions of what is happening elsewhere, you see. But near and real to the longing heart and to the body's passionate thought and sense are the hidden kingdoms of beatitude. So we have to have that longing heart, we have to have that passionate thought and sense to see those kingdoms of beatitude in some close and attained realm, which yet what we feel, somehow we feel that thing. Immune to the harsh clutch of death and time. Immune to the harsh clutch of death and time. It is not affected by at all by death and time. Immune, I am from the spirit, harsh clutch, spondy of death and time. I am, you see. So that harsh clutch, see again a spondy brings that harshness of death and time. Strong, forceful, you see. This is what I was telling you last time, that harsh clutch is a very beautiful spondy here, very powerful, very strong spondy here, indicating the kind of a grip which we have, which is there on us from death and time, you see. Escaping the surge of sorrow and desire in bright enchanted sea periphery, forever wallowing in bliss they lie, forever wallowing in bliss they lie, wallowing, luxuriating, enjoying. They lie, those splendors, those unbridling.